if we speak about the business planning, it's an opportunity to share with you how can you structure your mindset. Of course, I will skip this slide because thanks to Dr. Muhammad again and Dr. Ahmed Hagadi for the introducing me. On the other hand, I would say business planning is very important to think about how to create it, and then how to prepare for this approach, and what kind of tools can you use or KPIs, to manage the success of the program. And what's more important is how to guarantee the success of the business planning in what we call it a successful execution. The purpose. The purpose for business planning, as you know, it helps us, of course, to establish and create an effective strategy for growth. On the other hand, guide every one of us in how to allocate the company efforts and resources. It gives us a chance to demonstrate long-range forecasts for revenues and expenses, in addition to setting the clusters, steps, mission, objective, strategies, and tactics. We use them all with the acronym MOST to make sure that we'll have enough time to explain each one of them. What kind of examples can we look at it? Annual sales forecast, annual product plan, sales plan, marketing plan, production plan, and in addition, we'll have some examples using the steps and the principles of the business planning in our in restructuring our departments or increasing the efficiency of our activities, and we'll take these examples later in our dialogue. Did you know, the question is, did you know why do not people use the business plan frequently to maximize their business up? It's like infographic. The first reason could be lack of buy-ins. They do not believe that it supports the company's strategy and operational plans. The second reason is the negative perception. They don't see the impact in managing its impact in managing business and performance. And on the other hand, the ROI, they think that it cannot be so important to attract or to be used to attract a lender or investor. Low performance. Organizations that do not write business plans perform, of course, 30% less than those that do use it. So the difference, these are the gaps that people are facing if they don't buy in the idea of establishing the business plan in their day-to-day work. So let's see, why do we need the business plan? To discover your market potential, understand your customer, competition, establish business milestones, document your revenue model, to determine your financial needs, and to attract investors and partners. Reduce risk of pursuing the wrong opportunity if you don't have such a way to calculate the risk. Make it more calculated. To draw your course and focus your efforts, as it will work as a roadmap. To position your brand. Judge the success of your business here we see the importance of having KPIs in everything we do, so we can start evaluating the steps and even early recognize positive or negative deviation that would happen versus the original plans. Position your business to deal with changing conditions, such as, economy changes and the pandemic times. The coronavirus itself, it's a very good example. Most of the companies have reviewed and changed their business plans in order to meet the different challenges and uncertainties, to uncover new opportunities. So that makes us need to remember it's not only a necessary tool in the business plan to attract financing or investors, but what's important instead, it's a zero-cost approach to explore the affordability of your potential business and avoid costly mistakes. So let's look at the business plans, payoffs, or benefits. As we said, organizations write business plans grow 30% faster than those that do not plan. Organization can use it as an ongoing management tool, and must be, of course, if we establish a business plan, it's a live document, so we have to constantly revisit it, revise it, and update it. And of course, we will learn new things every day, such as which part of your product or services plan were well set and perceived. So it's time to assess different steps of your plan. What are the strengths and areas for development of your team? What your customers like? What they don't like? Which tactic work? Which ones do not? What your competitors do successfully? A good business plan should diagnose the critical success factors or the key business driver that can draw your future, and guide you to the future objectives and the strategies. So if we have a quick look about the importance of the business plan, it's what cannot be measured, cannot be managed. What's your opinion? To Ahmed.
I totally believe, because we don't know if it was done well or not, if it's successful or not. How I will know without measure? If there is a student and there is no exam or evaluation, I will not know if this student.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why it's very important as a tool to measure your success. And on the other hand, without a business plan, you are aiming to make expensive mistakes, because you will not allocate and deploy resources, people taking all the marketing mix without having this kind of structured way for developing the business. Of course, if we don't used to have it, we will reject the idea at first as the human being. Getting rid of all the concepts is by far difficult than acquiring the new one. The old concept that have been seen in this infographic, instead of lack of buy-in, low return on investment, and low performance, the negative impact, all this kind of negative perceptions can be solved once people start applying the business plan. Of course, marketeers know very well, Dr. Muhammad, definitely will agree with us. It's very important. They cannot move on without having this structured mindset. So the question that everybody might raise is, what's in it for me or for my company, for my department? So of course, the answer is to better understand the importance of business planning. This is an opportunity. We'll better analyze macro and micro environmental factors. We'll have a quick look about each step and objective. To learn how to use still the macro environmental analysis for external factor. And then to learn as well how to use the SWOT as a micro environmental analysis for internal and external. To better analyze strengths and weaknesses of the product or services mix. This is related to the internal factor. We'll spend some more time about the SWOT analysis later on. To better prepare for the future opportunities and the threats along the path with the external factor. Also, think about the best way to succeed before you act as a proactive measures. So you cannot jeopardize all resources and all investment without having a structured way to evaluate what would be the best way to guarantee the success and achieve the set objectives for the company. Learn and practice the principles of business planning skills. These are the objectives that will make sure that we'll have it over the course in 3 successive sessions. To facilitate retrieving back the business planning skills, we have set the acronym BRIDGES. Each letter referred to one of these steps. So we need to remember always bridges. Then we'll easy to retrieve back what each letter stands for. Piece of advice: learning has not taken place until behavior has changed. So our attending sessions in Cinfa Academy for Institution, that I look to the diversified program. They are very beautiful, have insightful capabilities, opportunities to learn more, to earn more. So don't lose it without having a way to practice it. And this will allow anybody, I mean, to change the behavior. If you used to have something in a routine or classical conventional way, now we have an opportunity to change it. If you don't change it, you will lose it later on. This is the Pike's fourth law. Failing to plan is like planning to fail. So sometimes we spend some more time in doing more analysis, doing the SWOT analysis, preparing for the marketing plan, for the sales plan, and then go and test it with the feed force or the internal stakeholders until we make it very, very, successful, challenge it, to make sure that will suit everybody and make sure that this will be a very successful plan. Standard, what is the standard business plan outlines? Let's have it step by step. It should include the executive summary. I mean, to compile all the different steps in one slides. And then you go for the company description, and then product or service that you are presenting, and then do your own analysis. And this is very important, as you all know, where to is influenced by where from, and where from is coming from the past and the present. So as long as you are able to discuss and to analyze what you are doing carefully, you will be able, to recognize where are our strengths and where are our areas for development, what are the opportunities that are coming or forthcoming for us, what are the threats that we are suffering from. And then macro and the micro environmental analysis, as I said, pistol for macro and SWOT for the micro. And then we go to the product. We'll have some abbreviation to facilitate. We'll have three, we call it the marketing mix. Product analysis, people performance analysis, program analysis. Versus the first three P's now are extended to be 6 and 7 P's, going to the price, to the place, all the P's, the promotional program. But for the customer, here we look at the external factor. We take the product and serve it to me, to whom? To our customer, and will be, facing and challenging our product with whom? With the competitors. At the same time, we go to the market, what we call it the climate or the market. Critical success out of your analysis. That's very important. It's like doing the sonography. You need to further explore where are the gaps, where are the potential, in order to maintain the strengths, and defining the gaps that will be considered the critical success factor. You can work on them, developing them, changing the weaknesses into strengths once more, in addition to tackling the opportunities that the market offers for us, and avoid or minimize the impact of the threats. So the critical success factor is the outcome of the thorough analysis. And then from this critical success factor or the key business driver, you decide how can we translate it into opportunities, starting by setting a mission. And the difference between mission and the objective, the mission said to be applied or to be achieved over a longer period of time, up to 5 years. Then when you have a vision after 5 years, we would like to be, for instance, second or third or number one company in X therapeutic area. And then what would be the mission that will help you achieve this vision? So in a product term, it's the goal that you would like to achieve over a period of time, I would say extended up to 5 or 6 years. And then we go to the objectives, strategies, and the tactics, and then metrics. Everything we will do, we need to set metrics. I mean, a way to measure our success, to be able, as early as we can, recognize positive or negative deviation that would happen apart or versus the original plan. This is, it's like, I mean, the success meter. You put it to yourself on the desktop, and then you start looking back. And I mean, every month, or I would say every 2 months, then to make sure, are we implementing what we were looking for or not? Is there any deviation? Sometimes we have positive deviation, like for instance, you set a forecast for a product and then you successfully succeed to sell it more than you expect. So you have even, to analyze, why did we achieve this super performance? Because if we don't know the reason, it might happen by accident, and we might lose it by accident as well. And then we set the metrics or KPI. KPI stands for the key performance indicators. Some questions, definitely, the marketeer asks himself about it. What problem does the company, product, or service solve? This is the reasons why the company creating a solution for this problem. And then what is the company solution in the form of product or service? Who will promote the values of this solution? And then we go to the people. So it's a product people. And then how will the company market and sell its product? What kind of programs, promotional material the company is going to use it to achieve this product objectives. What is the size of the market place, the climate? What are the company customers, the customers? And what are the competitors, and how will the company maintain a competitive edge? Which, at the end of the day, this is the most important thing. In a certain therapeutic area, we have our product. At the same time, we have plenty of products in the same therapeutic area. Our client will only have one or two first and second intention product. Can't, capture and can't write all the products. So who will be able, to succeed to put his product first intention in at the customer mind? Whoever will be able to articulate the value proposition, what makes his product, very distinguished, valuable, then other products will definitely have this opportunity to occupy the customer mind. So some more clarifications for the business planning. It's all about, bridging from the current to the desired situation. And then, where do we stand versus where do we want to go? So the bridges are coming. Business plan will discover issues or changes that you have not anticipated. That's a typical questions or situation. For instance, you might going to conclude after having your business plan, the market is not large as we thought. Or after evaluating the competition, and at the same time, we were deciding to go to the low cost differentiation, and then we'll find it's not visibly possible because the profit margin will be too low to cover your operational cost. So that would be great to discover it as early as you can, and instead of investing and allocating resources and reach this decision in a late time. Your idea for a business is sound sometimes. It happens. We see the idea is very good, but difficult to be implemented. For bridges, we'll begin. We'll take it letter by letter. B stands for begin with macro and micro environmental analysis, and then R, refine critical success factors. I, initiate a mission. D, for developing objectives. G, for generating strategies. So E, for engaging it with tactics and BOA. And then set metrics. So these are the different letters of the bridges. If you can keep it in our mind, will help you, to further retrieve it in every time you set your business plan. For concept summary, in each step we will have this concept summary. Step definition, what does it mean? Key points to further clear it up or clarify it. How to do it? We'll have some examples. Caution to avoid misapplications. Tips to correct it. Anticipated obstacles while you are implementing this step. With some examples to make sure that it's experiential for a application. If we start by macro and the micro environmental, before we start, if there is any questions to look back to, or to clarify, I'll be happy. More than happy even to listen.
Okay, so I believe, Dr. Samir, you give us very good introduction and summary, and now you will explain each letter or each step in the model one by one. So before going into more details for each step, If there is any question, you can raise your hand and ask directly, or you can write in the chat, or you can write in the Q&A. You can see all in the your screen at the bottom part. Okay. I don't see any questions, Dr. Samir, so I believe that we can continue. And at any time, if you would like to have any question, please raise your hand, and then we can hear your question.
Excellent. So for the first step, which is, begins with macro and the micro environmental analysis. For the macro environmental analysis, here we have the BESTOL. The BESTOL stands for each letter, political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. And now they have added for BESTOL one more E. It's for ethics. And ethics here, they refer to the importance of securing the quality of the worker and avoid the deploying the child on work. And even the companies now have what we call it corporate social responsibility towards the community. For instance, McDonald's have a youth program for internship for the student or the postgraduate. So for the micro environmental SWOT analysis, S for the strengths and W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for the threats. Of course, the first component, strengths and weaknesses, are for internal factor. And O and T, the opportunities and threats, we look at the external factors. We'll have some more information later about this. This is the summary for the BESTOL again. And then we go for the SWOT. We need to have some examples, and SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Powerful tool, of course, for strategic planning, evaluation, and analysis. We use it to manage brainstorming sessions, and even this will, be discovered later. And part of the successful leader role is to invite his people, for the brainstorming session. Use your troops to support your ideas. So once you throw your raw idea to people and then allow them to give their feedback, and whatever they will say will be very beneficial to fine-tune the idea itself. What tool jumpstarts the idea generation, as we said, guide you through the evaluating the idea or issues that you are discussing. We will have some examples. Current state for SWOT. For our colleagues who are attending with us now, it's used to review the current state of your department. For instance, your department is serving the customer in a certain way with certain activities. So you will have this current state and discuss it. What are our strengths and what are our weaknesses? And then you can even have a Zoom window to discover the gaps, where are they? And then you can easily, set some corrective measures for improvement. It could be for the restructuring, for the new program, for developing people, for enhancing the process itself. for developing the activity that you are delivering. It examined the current activities of the selected item. Once you decide, and now let's discuss it, the activities that we deliver to support this item. With the team brainstorming session, you quickly summarize where the working and non-working ideas or areas. So you will have it. Here we make it more applicable. If you go back to your department, now we are doing a good job. Now, how about improving our way of work during 2022? So let's have a list of activities, what's our objectives, what's our strategies, and then let's discuss it and allow people to define what are working and what are not working for us. And then you can have this kind of a pool of ideas, of strengths and weaknesses. And then if you make the current SWOT, then you can make it propose the changes SWOT. We are moving to restructuring the department. This is proposing a change. We will apply new program. For instance, nowadays, the digitalization of everything. We digitalize everything. So it's new things that will automate our way of delivering. For instance, as I understand, now Dubai is doing, a paperless process everywhere. So the beautiful of this automation or digitalization are translated into financial benefit. For instance, saving money, saving papers, and so on. That's for the proposed change. Propose the change if you decide to make a change. So let's discuss it visibly before we make the change to make sure that it will be a positive change. So in that case, it's an opportunity to make it prior to the change itself, to evaluate it. At the same time, to predict the change results. It's like you diagnose something, you check back the percent of prognosis, the percent of success that would happen. Result of a change, SWOT. Now, once it's a follow-up to SWOT itself. So you have it to make it for the current, and then you propose a change, SWOT, and then result of a change is SWOT. It's a follow-up for the proposed change. Is that clear? And then what's similar to the current state of SWOT, but the difference is you have done it, and then you follow up on the achievement of these different steps or activities. Take it and compare it with the previous one. So let's capture the level of improvement itself. This is, it's a piece of advice for everyone to look back. Now, there is what we call it Kaizen. Kaizen is a continuous improvement process, where whatever you do, you have to step and stop at a certain time and saying, how can we do it better? What else can be done to enhance the process itself? So the SWOT itself will help you to do this process. Some current SWOT examples. Figure out where the money goes. Sort of analysis, conduct SWOT to review the business financial. Speed the process of root causes determination, make a SWOT. To improve sales, create a SWOT for current marketing approach. What were our strengths? What were our weaknesses? What were the opportunities? And so on. We will have, once we reach the four quadrants of the SWOT analysis, we'll have samples of examples to make sure that it's more clear to everyone. For Kaizen, said performance improvement, generate SWOT also. You can apply SWOT model for quality management review. Here, you analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat of your quality system. Some more examples. Company planned on creating supplier quality measures or procurement steps. Then you can check the current state, where we would like to be. This is the proposed change. How can we guarantee the success? So let's check back what we have done versus the proposed change. For instance, you can make it to determine the possible cost of the new supplier quality, or even very common, use the SWOT to convince senior management that you need to expand your facilities. Present the SWOT chart on your expansion plans. That's the reasons behind, or the rationale behind your request. So you have to have the backup analysis for your decision. The desire and the final inspection element earlier in the process flow, as we said, the Kaizen process. For internal analysis, let's have it letter by letter for the 3 P's. You remember we said it's the products, people, and then program. Easily to be retrieved when you said the company have a solution, the product, who will promote it, people, and how will they promote it, the program that will be used. And then we'll have some examples here for the P's. The product or service in the development or existing, it's a new product, or it's already inline product or existing product. What is the timeline for bringing a new product to market? What makes your product or service different? That's a very important question, because if you are going to sell a product, you have to set your strategy and your approach. So you have to have your own value-added or selling propositions. Are there competitive advantage compared with offering? Based on the competitive advantage, you decide which strategy will be used and suit us more than any strategy else. Are there competitive disadvantage? Here you need to overcome. If there is problem, for instance, sometimes they say your product with high price, and or the titration of the dose, it needs some effort. So how can you manage it? You set the proper solution before you go to the market. So in all scenarios, all the presentations and all the business plans should have enough time to be, challenged from the internal stakeholders. Is price an issue? Sometimes, yeah, you decide to sell it at a certain price that's could look higher than any other product in the same therapeutic area. So how can you manage it? Will your operating cost be low enough to allow reasonable profit margin? How will you acquire your products? Are you the manufacturer or the importer? Do you assemble products using components provided? That is another possible way. Do you purchase product from supplier or wholesaler? If your business takes off is a steady supply of product available or not, to guarantee the, the flow of the product and the pipelining, and to avoid the dilemma of the product shortage. What are the product strengths and weaknesses? The product and services and answer what questions for your business. So it's what product. Product refers to what. Let's have some examples for the strengths. High quality product. No drug-drug interaction. Effective product with the fast onset of action. These are the strengths of the product. On the other hand, difficult dosage scheme. It needs some effort to titrate the dose. Sometimes the product is not affordable due to high price. The customer perception, they said it's an expensive product. There should be a way, to treat it later on, and to change it from a weakness into a benefit. Restricted use with the impaired liver and the kidney functions. We need to respect it. And sometimes the product launched and then it have, a box, restricted box to be used with some patients, for instance, impaired renal or liver function. These some examples, and regarding the examples that we are mentioning, I'm inviting everyone, when you go back to your department, to your work, please try to model the same for your department or for your service. And bear in your mind, whatever you do will be great then you don't do anything. That's the first advice. The second advice, whatever you do, please feel free, to send it to us, so I can share with you my opinion, so we can make it more, constructive, useful to you and to your department. So this would be, one of the things that I'm urging everybody to do it. Do your homework. Start doing this when you go back, and then send it to us. We'll share it together, and then we'll give you my feedback about it. So we believe now SWOT can be implemented for any business. If you have your own pharmacy, you have to make a SWOT. If you have your own department, so for regulatory or for the, the drug approvals, wherever you go and wherever you do and whatever you do, you can apply. It's a methodology, it's a way, a structured way to make sure that you are moving from step to step in a successful, calculated approach. And then the second P is for people. How is the team effectiveness? Where does the team excel? What the challenges are facing the team? What are the training and recruitment needs? The analysis will help you evaluate the skills and experience and resources your management team will need. Experience of management team is an important factor. Key question to answer. Who are the key leaders? If actual people have not been identified, those who are the best player. When you set a new product plan, then you set who will be promoting this product and what are the competency model of these people who will be successfully launched. So you set the criteria that you needed to be available and what kind of training and development we need to provide them to make sure that they will be successfully launched the product. What are their experiences, educational background, and the skills? Your key leaders have industry experience. All these questions should be considered to make sure that you are calculating everything. For people, key question to answer also: what duties will each position perform? Because I mean, here I mean each position. It's very important to have the macro view about the team who will do the business. The medical rep, the leaders, the top management, the supporting function, everything you needed to make sure that we are preparing or putting the right people on the right place. What salary levels will be required to attract qualified persons if you are hiring people. And then people analysis will answer who is in charge. So the product answers what to sell, and people answer who is in charge, the quality and the competency model and the required training and support. Some examples for the people. Values-driven culture. This is a positive element for people. That's why they always say hire for the right attitude and traits. Skills can be learned, but attitude and the traits is something that you need, I mean, to hire people for them. Team members do support the company policies, support and respect the company policy, and did not mind working in the difficult situation. For example, like working during COVID-19. These are some strengths. The two new medical, for instance, if you have a team of 10 people or 7 people, and then you can say you have the best two players, 2 people out of the 10. So that's the positive part of the people. 2 new medical reps in, for instance, in Alex, and are so enthusiastic and fast learner. You would say the rest of the people needs more development. They are more junior and so on. This would be a weak area or areas for development. 2 experienced medical reps are demotivated due to delayed promotion. Here some examples to what's really happened in reality. Some people they stays more than 10 years at the medical rep, and nobody pays attention to them. And then we said they are not delivering their best because we don't deliver their best support to them. We need to look at them and to consider what makes things I mean practical and more affordable. So we have to change the type of work or give them more motivational support. On it's a time to think about them. 2 medical reps are underperforming in Q1, for instance. 2 medical reps are managing big areas, so it's time to reconsider, reallocate the area or break down the area into more than 2 areas. High turnover in Alex area, because that's some examples to what really happened and what really you can find when you make your analysis for the people. And more examples can be mentioned at any I mean service or department or functional area else. So back again, if you go back and do it for your department, for your responsibility, I will be really happy to share with you my opinion in regarding your outcome.
Dr. Samir, there is, I believe, a question or a comment
Please.
from Dr. Javed. So just 1 second. Dr. Javed, please, you can talk now. Unmute yourself and talk.
Dr. Javed.
Okay, probably something in his audio. There is a connection.
Can he text?
So, Yeah, if you can text or write in the chat, and I will read your question or comment. Okay. Yes, we can. No, you unmuted and then muted again. But probably I can ask a question from my side, Dr. Samir,
Please.
that these examples are really very good for people who are working in companies. But if I'm a pharmacist and I work in a pharmacy in a hostel,
Hmm.
what could be some examples for like weaknesses and strengths for people, for example?
And that's يعني an excellent question,
Yeah,
and we need to listen to more questions regarding this to make sure that we are aligning. I mean, for
yeah,
instance, for the pharmacy, you can consider now you have a very professional pharmacist staff. I mean, that would be they are very well skilled regarding the communications. They are patient driven. They are carefully listen to their customers, and successfully it changes the role from providing and dispensing medicine into consultative role. I mean, you know, if people get trusted the pharmacist, then sometimes they go and ask for more than beyond the dispensing medicine, because they trust the mindset, the quality of the support that he or she delivers to people. Yeah. So the quality of the pharmacist staff, that would be very positive. I will take on the other hand, it could be the delivery. The delivery is not that speed, is the delivery of the product to the customer is not that speed. Sometimes I'm experiencing with when I handle some pharmacists that when you have a message to send it to the call center, people, they receive the message, and then when you make the follow-up, I start asking, can you recall back my message that I mean made it 2 days ago? So I discover all the time there is no way to retrieve back the message. So I asked a question: how do you, I mean, to keep this information or this message at your side? Do you transfer it to the I mean the certain branch, verbal or written, or both? I discovered they just make it verbal. So you find that it's a weaknesses. The message is not carefully handled. So at the end of the time, customer, they may get, I mean, frustrated, because if he requests something and doesn't receive an answer, and sometimes the answer is related to the time of having the medicine itself. For instance, if I am using lifetime treatment medicine, and then my product is finished, and then the next dose will be, I would say, after 2 hours, or I would say, or after 6 hours. The speed of the response makes me more satisfied than the delay that would interrupt my medicine. That's the two extremes. I mean, could be the quality of the staff, its strengths, the bad quality of communicating the message of the call center. The delivery speed is not that fast or up to my expectation. If I go to the I mean the formulary group, I mean those who are responsible for registering the product in a hospital, it could be that the positive area is they are inviting people to submit their files and give a prompt answer. I mean, for instance, they said, we will welcome your product based on the department requirements. please comply and prepare your proposal and send it to us. The first answer for the proposal itself, it's a positive element. The delay answer, it's a negative element. For instance, if you said, we will not register your product before having, I mean, 6 months after launching your product. So it's I mean, it's an obstacle. It could be considered a weakness. So all this kind of issues could be strengths or could be weaknesses. Did I clarify what you look for, Dr. Ahmed?
For me, yes. For the audience, if someone would like to
Yes,
have
please.
a question or a comment, please feel free to raise your hand at any time.
And on the other hand, as we agreed, when we go back to our work, I will be pleased, I mean, to share with you same concept with different functions. So I look forward, I mean, to receive your I mean, homework in this area. So this is regarding some examples for we said product, and then we said people. And then we go to the program. As I said, to make it more easy, it's a product to solve a problem. Who will manage it? Who will in charge? People, and how they promote it, the program. Allow your customer to know your product. Here we said product value propositions. Yeah. Program itself is an investment to the growth of the business. Investment you would like to, you would make it on a program, guarantee a profitable ROI, of course. It's a basic statement. Good program should generate better sales and results. In every program, we look at the advantage of the program, value proposition of your brand. Marketing program should consistently reinforce and extend it. Your brand success. And also, the face of your marketing is the face of your to potential customers. I mean, we said make sure that you put your best face forward. I mean, said simply what you put for your product represent the best quality of your product. Focus on benefit. What problems do you solve? What benefits do you deliver? And customer do not think in terms of product, but they think in terms of benefits and solution. What really matters for their patients? This is what they will think about it. Speaking feature doesn't work and doesn't last. Speaking benefit and does work and does last for for all health healthcare professions.
Dr. Samir,
yes.
May I ask, for example, if I'm talking a product like antihypertensive or any medicinal product, how I will differentiate between feature and benefit, or how this will work with me?
That's a very good question. Thanks very much again. I mean, the differentiation quite easy to if we can differentiate between what goes for describing the product itself, it's a feature. Like the cost, the price, like the onset of action, like it's no drug interaction. These are all, I mean, related to the describing the product itself. If we need to describe benefits, we will move from describing the product to describing the effect of the product on the user, I mean, the end user, the patients itself. So for instance, if we said this product very effective in relieving cancer or in controlling high blood pressure or improving quality of life, as it can be taken once per day. It's very convenient, easy to be remembered. So anything reflect back to the utility and the benefits of the patient, we say benefits. Anything related to just describing, for instance, that product takes 15 years R&D. That is a typical. If we go and tell the customer, doctor, you have an amazing product that has spent 15 years in R&D, we will not listen, because he will, I mean, listen to anything that goes to his patients. And instead of saying this, I would say this product has been trialed on a large group of people in many multi-center studies. So they found it very useful to the patient who suffer from the high blood pressure or suffering at the same time, angina or anything else. So that question, is that clear now? I mean, the differentiation between feature and benefit?
Yes, doctor, I believe feature is something, as you mentioned, could be a character or something in the product or research or good bioavailability or whatever, but the benefit is direct to the customer or the patient,
the user,
not
exactly.
the user, the end user.
That's exactly what you said, Dr. Ahmed. If we take it from the real life examples, for instance, if your car is, for instance, Mercedes or BMW, huh? And then you have airbags. You can say, the car have 8 airbags, but this is a typical feature. But if you go and say it, for your family safety, we are supporting you with a number of airbags that can guarantee safety if there is anything that would happen. So, as you said, exactly anything go to the effect to the user or the people or the consumer, end of the day, it's a benefit. Thanks for reading this, because I love to have these questions to make sure that we are able to share our idea and thoughts. So let's move to the next step. Focus on what customer get instead of what you provide. Focus on differentiation. That's very important. And this is, I mean, the company, even for differentiation, if I need to make myself quite differentiated or distinguished, if we spend some time to think about it, how can we make it, and invite the people, I mean, to think together. Here I'm speaking about different work functions. I mean, for instance, for registering product and working in a pharmacy, imagine if the pharmacy owner or a pharmacy or a chain owner at the bigger level invite people for half-day brainstorming sessions, and then having different flip charts, and then asking people from your experience over 2021, what do you think were our strengths? And then start listing these strengths. And then on the other hand, what do you think were our weaknesses or areas for development? Then you will have an opportunity to zoom in and to discover something new. And then having this and work on each one of them, I mean, of course, having the strengths or the positive area will make everybody happy. In the same time, we should feel happy that once we recognize the weak areas, and then we will decide, we will work on them and transfer them from weak areas into strengths. I'm sure this will add more value to the pharmacy owner or the chain owner. What programs are available? Which program were efficient in the past? That's very important. I record sometimes when we do use material for promoting a product, it could be also for the chain of pharmacies or the regulatory system. When you ask me now, the rules and the policies are changing every time. So for instance, digitalizing everything, if we are not automating the system, so let's decide, why don't we start automating the system? Then if you have the brainstorming with people, if you bring a new idea, bear in your mind, you will find people who will apport the idea on the spot. That's the new technology, we cannot do it, we needed special people, we need some more time. But the question is, if you start now with efficiency 20 or 30%, you are now profiled better than who did not yet start. I mean, that's why digitalizing everything, it's becoming now more stronger in need for anybody, for any industry, because as we are suffering now from COVID, otherwise we wouldn't have this Zoom meeting with you. I mean, with different locations, we are able now to consolidate and to gather the different colleagues in the same meeting. So it's an idea to think about how can we improve what we used to do it in the past. Which programs have helped least in order, to eliminate or not to focus on? What were the results of the promotional programs? Make sure your program answer the how will I reach my customer? That's why, so the product itself answers what to sell, the people who will be in charge, and the program how will I reach my customers? Is it customer centric? Does it answer the customer needs and unmet needs or not? So let's have some examples. We took examples for the product and we took examples for the people, and let's have it for the program. Marketing campaign is well perceived from our clients. And detail aid included the up-to-date clinical trial. Using a clinical trial was made 10 years ago. Wouldn't be better than having a clinical trial that has just been finished, or 1 year ago. So it's up-to-date clinical trial. It's a positive area or strength. Commercial scheme is well perceived from the majority of the pharmacists. If you create a commercial plan or providing some incentive pluses to attract your customer consumption or increase it, and then the perception, the result was very good, and the opinion of the pharmacists, they are looking to more and more with the same quality. On the other hand, detail aid doesn't focus on the fast recovery of the patient. Maybe while we are using the detail aid or the iPad, some customers said, I haven't seen the fast impact of your product. Detail aid doesn't highlight the comparable effect of the product versus the standard therapy. Some doctors use this kind of perception because standard therapy is the evaluating level, or the benchmark. So if you don't have it, this kind of comparison, it would be weaknesses. The conditions of the bundles doesn't suit all customers, because you might offer to the customer, if you take 100 boxes, I will give you 10. So how about if I need to take 10? It's not possible to say that this is out of our bundles or our commercial plan. So you have to offer flexible, choices to make sure that you can attract more customers. So these are some examples for the positive and the weaknesses, or the strengths and the weaknesses for the program. Hope it make it the idea more clear. So now we have done the 3 Bs. This is the collection of the 3 Bs. And I would like to remind everyone that we already have the handout, soft copy handout, and we are intended not to distribute it at the beginning, because your keen and active listening and your responses are more important than having the handout. And then you can easily support what you already have got through the dialogue, and then can come back to your reference at the handout. Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Mustafa, Dr. Muhammad will hand over this later. Is that correct, Dr. Ahmed?
Yes, correct, Dr. Samir. Thank you so much. So I believe this approach is good, because I believe focusing on hearing and active listening and asking and not worrying about writing or just taking notes. So you will have the handouts from Dr. Samir. So thank you so much, Dr. Samir.
You are welcome, my friend. And then let's go. We already have done the 3 Bs, and then we'll go to the 3 Cs. 3 Cs is the climate, refer to the market, customers, and competition. I love this quote, the actions speak louder than words. So anything you pick up, please, practice it. And by practicing, you will make it perfect later on and part of your routine. These are the 3 Cs, and these are the short, the full short, 3 Bs and 3 Cs. 3 Bs for internal, 3 Cs for external. I can simply say it. If you need to cluster the 6 letters, to say there is a problem, medical problem, high blood pressure, and so the solution is in a product. Who will promote it? The people. Which kind of how well they promote it, kind of program they will use it, the program. And once the program, people will promote it, and the program will support this promotion, they will go with the product to whom? To the market. At the market, they will meet the customer, and they will be competing with the competitor. For the climate, the analysis starts with understanding your market, opportunities. Before you start the business, there is a viable, important to consider the details of the market, the process required asking, and more importantly, answering a number of questions. Let's look at them. The more accurately answer, what is the size of the market? Is it growing, stable, or declining? It's the same. Can we do it with the pharmacy? Of course. A product in a pharmacy. What are the top 5 products we are selling? What are the products that are making 20% of our portfolio and makes our 80% of results? These are the cream products. So it's an idea to invest about it. For instance, if the top 5 products are making, or top 10 products are making 80%, and the rest of the product are making 20% of the sales, which, of course, spending more time on the 10 products or top 10 products will generate more business for the pharmacy itself. Besides growing, stable, or declining, the overall industry growing stable or because we are part of the industry? What segment of the market do I plan to target or not? For instance, now most of the companies who used to sell classic in a conventional way, they start now measuring their success through the online shopping or online selling. That's very important. For after the COVID-19, now everybody, every business sit and looks back how we are doing the business now. Is it the right way, or we need to improve it? We need to be more online. We need to automate. We need to digitalize things. Everything now is it's a time to reconsider it once again. What segment of market do I plan to target? Because this is what we call it the defined market. I'm going to sell a CCD product, a calcium channel product. Do I look to have part of the total antihypertensive product, or I need first to be the best or the second in the calcium channel broker, and then the second stage or phase I go to compete with the other product? It depends on, in all scenarios, you set your objectives, your strategies, how can you capture the attention and achieve this position? The climate, very important to consider. Is the demand for my specific product and service rising, or your product demand trend demand? If the product rise in the pharmacy, we can have this. If you define what are the best selling product in the pharmacy, you can go back 1 year and see the trend of these 10 products. And then you can, for instance, the vitamin C, the zinc, these are the products that has unbelievable takeoff, because now it's a part of the protocol for the corona. So all the companies now are instead of they don't have, they create, I mean, the vitamin C formula to make sure there is a evolving demand on this regarding the need for corona treatment. Can I differentiate myself from the competition? This is again, this is the marketeer question. If I can't differentiate, so I have to set another strategy. If I can differentiate, I should, highlight and zoom in what are the value proposition of my product that makes me very well differentiated from the other products. What do customers expect to pay for my products and services? That's very important, because a new experience that I would love to share it with you. The one that one day we invited the eminent figures in our cycle meeting. For instance, I don't recall that if Dr. Ahmed has attended with us or not. For instance, the Ministry of Health, Dr. Awad Tajuddin, and then we start asking in non-conventional questions. What would you like to see in our medical rep? So instead of having a classical question, do you write our product or not? Tell us what you wish to see in our medical rep. So Dr. Awad and the other experts, they said, we would love to hear from people that they are coming to help our patients. Not, to big the business or to request writing their products. They are coming to find a solution to our people that would add more value to our patients. That's an example of customer perception. Remember, market analysis provides a sense check to choosing the right product and service. On the other hand, great products are great as long as we are able, to highlight the benefit of these products. So let's dig deeper and quantify your market. That's for the market. How will, of course, we go to the demographics, the healthcare system, regulations, silence, science, therapy change. Now there are, protocols, guidelines in many treatment areas. So you have to follow the up-to-date. The key is to define your market carefully and to know how you will serve it very well. Examples for the opportunities and threats, because now we are speaking about the external factors. Of course, if I ask which of which is more controllable, internal factor or external factor, the answer, I'm sure you will agree with me, it's the internal factor, because you control the product, people, and program. For external factors, you'll find a way, to capture the opportunities and to minimize any hazards that coming from the threats. Government implement a national treatment program to control epidemic and comorbid disease. For instance, we had this situation. If you see the National Health or the Ministry of Health decided to make a national campaign to early recruit diabetic patients, the hypertensive patient, to treat endemic disease like virus C even before Corona. Then, if the company have a product that would serve in this area, this is a golden chance to jump in and tell the Ministry of Health and that we are happy and pleased to share with you this program. And then we sponsor their campaign. And then by the time we will be aligned with them. So if anything else that they requested, they definitely will go back to whoever was very supporting to them. E-commerce and trade becomes much stronger, of course. And we have to consider now, e-commerce is very popular. And now people, even for drugs, they tended to ask for having the online shopping. Some threats, government will impose a price reduction. You have a price tarification in your product at level X, and then the company decided let's reduce the price of the product. Here's some obligation. It's a threat. How can we manage it? If it hurts all, and we have to accept it. For instance, using the threats, using the mask as a way for protection during coronavirus, to restrict the live meetings. So we have to consider all this kind of element. Hospital business are declining as they have been converted more of them, all the money towards different priorities, buying the vaccine, buying the product for the endemic. So they set lower priority for the other products. Change drug enlisting rules. If it has been changed now, so I have to discover it and start complying, resubmit my product in a way that will align with what they are looking for. The customers, focus on your customer segment. Who are your customers? Who will you target? Whom, which you will handle? If you have a group of specialties, which of them you will better manage or you will target? Who makes the decisions? If you have inside the hospital, so you have to consider what we call the decision-making cycle. Decision-making cycle, it could be the head of the hospital or the head of the drug enlisting or purchasing. It depends on, or a committee. So I have to recognize the circle and the roadmap, and then based on this, you put your strategy and you submit your profiles. Determine how you can best reach potential customer. That's very important. A good business plan analyze and evaluate customer demographics, purchasing habits, buying cycle, Willingness to adopt new products and services, that's very important. But in some places, they do believe that they cannot have a new product before marketing the product 2 years at least in the market. So it could be at that time a challenge to decide to put yourself in this position. So you have to wait. Your goal is to understand characteristic and purchasing ability to potential customer. Where are they on the customer adoption ladder? You know, the customer, I don't know if you know about the customer adoption ladder, the level of convincing a customer, starting from having the customers unaware, so they don't try it, and the second bigger phase, aware. At the aware, you have a breakdown for when they start being aware, they start trying the product. So in a trial phase, the other phase after trying the product and having successful results, they start putting the product in a certain indication and allow more opportunity to prescribe it. If it successfully acts in a certain indication, then expand it to another indications, and so on, until what we call it, which is the most difficult and most potential, to have an advocate. The doctor starts to believe very much on your product, up to say, this is my favorite product, this is my first intention. So in a way that we have to consider this different customer adoption ladder level, and where our customers are located in, and where I would like, to move them to the further progressive step. That's at the same time, you can consider it, and for the pharmacy business, you can consider the type of customers. Where are they in? The insured patients, the private patients, or those who pays from the pocket money, are considered trying product, or they use it sometimes. It's depends the deeper analysis that you can, where you are dealing with, and find opportunities to enhance. What are the needs and the preferences of your each customer, to align your product and tell the value of your product to what matters to everyone? What approach would impact best on each style? And then we have examples, for instance, for the customer are looking for a new trend in different therapeutic area. Those who are looking for a new trend, if have a new product, go and start with them. This is what we call them early adapters. They love the product, and they are we're eager to find it. Physicians do not believe the efficacy of for instance, you know the story of the COX-2 inhibitor. When some companies start selling the COX-2 inhibitor, they start selling the beauty of the safety. And then they discover the doctors were claiming that your product is safe, but is not that effective that we were expecting. So they start having the proper dose to make sure that the efficacy is the main issue for everything. So the patient comes suffering and wants to go back relieved. So if we don't offer the right dose, in that case, we will not get the right result. Physician shifts to the low price generic. That's another challenge. Now there is a shift that would happen. It could be through the medical insured patients. It could be through the private patients. So if I have an originated product, or a product that will have plenty of generics, I have to reconsider my promotion strategy once again. This is for the competitors. Evaluate your competitors. In market term, what does your competition do that work well? You learn from their success, avoid their failure. Identify, analyze, determine the strengths and weaknesses of your competitor, profile current competitors, at least those who are leading the therapeutic area. And then once you identify your main competitor, then you put the differentiation strategy. What are their strengths, their weaknesses, their basic objectives, their commercial plans, what marketing strategies do they use? How can you take market share away from their business? How will they respond when you enter the market? That is, I mean, studying the detail. Who are the leading competitors? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And what are their strategies and initiatives there? The competitive analysis helps you answer against whom you will work. That's the question. So simply we covered now the 3 P's, and then we jump to the 3 C's: climate, cluster, customer, and the competitors. And these are the examples for the 3 P's. And we will stop at this point.